this thing on? Welcome back, Chaos Crew, to my spiritual shit show, the Neurodivergent Realms. Today's episode is a triple shot espresso for the soul because we're going to untangle 3 threads that weave deep into the ND experience: Echolalia, sensory overwhelm, and the mind-body rituals that help you come home to yourself. Now, to the outside world, Echolalia is just repeating stuff. Sensory overwhelm is just being dramatic. And grounding rituals, that's just woo-woo self-care. But here, in this space, we're going to decode the mystical technology inside all 3. Think of Echolalia as an incantation your soul blurts out when your conscious mind isn't looking. Think of sensory overwhelm as a sign your psychic satellite dish is picking up way too many channels all at once. And think of grounding rituals as your spiritual USB cable, plugging your soul back into your body. And spoiler alert, none of these things are flaws you need to erase. They're part of your operating system. Today, I'm going to show you why. Personal story time. Let me start with Echolalia because, oh boy, has this been part of my life. The movie line loop. There's this one scene from a 90s movie I've been repeating for years, out loud. Randomly, at first, I thought it was just my brain being quirky, but then I started tracking when I said it. Turns out, I would repeat it before big life changes. It was like a mantra I didn't consciously choose, preparing my body for transition. The song lyric spell. One month, I found myself muttering the same 2 lines from a song. Couldn't stop. Annoyed my partner. Confused my friends. Then one day, while singing it in the kitchen, I realized the words perfectly matched the intention I'd been avoiding, leaving a toxic work situation. It wasn't random. It was a subconscious activation. The client echo. During a session with a neurodivergent client, she kept repeating a short phrase. Later, she realized it matched a channeled message she'd been resisting hearing from her guides. We laughed, we cried, we realized Echolalia can be a bridge between what your conscious mind denies and what your soul insists on. Now, let's talk sensory overwhelm. The grocery store incident. I once had to abandon an entire cart of groceries because a screaming kid and the energy of everyone around me hit me all at once. It wasn't just sensory. It was like my body was screaming, "Get out before you short circuit." I sat in my car, hands shaking, grounding myself with deep breaths and absolute and utter quiet. The overwhelm afterglow. I've also noticed that right after a sensory overwhelm episode, my intuition spikes. Like my brain was clearing the deck so I could receive something. That doesn't make the overwhelm fun, but it reframed it. Maybe my system was purging static before a download. Finally, mind-body integration rituals. The hand-on-heart reset. When I'm spinning out, I stop, place one hand on my heart and one on my belly, and hum, or even just breathe and sit in the quiet. Within 60 seconds, my nervous system shifts. My body remembers it's safe, and my brain gets the memo. It's so simple, and it's like hitting the spiritual sync button. Now for broader exploration. All right. Let's zoom out. Echolalia. Clinically, it's labeled a speech repetition behavior often linked with autism, ADHD, or other ND wiring. Spiritually, it's a vibrational coding mechanism. Repetition isn't meaningless. It's an energetic stabilizer. You might be harmonizing your nervous system. You might be embedding an intention into your field. You might even be unconsciously channeling. sensory overwhelm. Mainstream culture frames this as overreacting. In reality, it's what happens when your filters, the unconscious settings that decide what sensory input to process, stop filtering. The psychic layer, your aura is like an open satellite dish, pulling in every signal in the room: conversations, emotional residue, energy spikes, even subtle geomagnetic shifts. Mind-body integration rituals. These are not self-care in the Instagrammable sense. They're vital spiritual maintenance. When you're neurodivergent, your brain can easily live 3 feet ahead of your body. Rituals are how you realign, and these don't have to be big ceremonies. Tiny, consistent gestures can reestablish the connection. Humming, grounding touch, gentle rocking, naming objects in the room, shaking your limbs. The through line, these 3 experiences, the repeating, the flooding, the resetting, are all parts of the same nervous system cycle. Echolalia signals, sensory overwhelm crashes, integration rituals reboot. Guidance and empowerment. So, how do we work with these instead of fighting them? For Echolalia, track your repeats in a journal. Look for themes, timing, or emotional context. Try speaking the repeated phrase with full intention. See if it shifts your body's state. And experiment with turning repeated phrases into affirmations or mantras. For sensory overwhelm, carry sensory shields, sunglasses, noise-canceling headphones, essential oil you like. You can learn your early warning signs, such as tension in the jaw, change in breathing, fidget escalation, and exit before the full crash. Or create a cool down ritual you can do anywhere. Breathing patterns, humming, tapping, pressing your palms together. For mind-body integration, you can anchor rituals to transitions, waking up, after calls, before bed. Use bilateral movement like walking or swaying to help your brain hemispheres sync. Or practice sensory grounding. 5 things you see, 4 you touch, 3 you hear, 2 you smell, 1 you taste. And remember, these aren't hacks to make you quote unquote normal. They're your body's sacred language. When you work with them, you stop treating your neurodivergence like a glitch and start treating it like a guidance system. Reflection and challenge. This week, here's your mission. Number 1, catch one moment of echolalia and write down the phrase. Ask yourself, what is this trying to align me with? Number 2, notice one sensory overwhelm trigger and design your own mini exit ritual for it. And number 3, try one new integration ritual, even if it's just a 10-second grounding breath. And if you're feeling bold, pair all 3. Let the phrase become your grounding mantra. Let the overwhelm teach you when your aura is overextended. Let the ritual bring you back. And that's a wrap on echolalia, sensory overwhelm, and mind-body integration rituals. You're not broken, you're broadcasting. Your repeats, your meltdowns, your grounding habits, they're all part of your multi-dimensional toolkit. Next up, we're flipping the script in our first Devil's Advocate edition, which will be masking, divine coding, or trauma response. Get ready for some perspective whiplash. I'm Christina, your awakening catalyst and resident neurodivergent unicorn, signing off for now. Stay weird, stay awake, and stay magical. Get off the air. Ooh, what a shit show.